Hi there, it's Kevin
and Zach
from Gone Rogue Games / Rogue Deck Builder here with our monthly Patreon booster box plus some other packs here. For our patrons here, we have a tier where we open up a booster pack or sometimes 2 booster pack depending on the level for our patrons. So we appreciate all of our patrons. And for this month, we are going to be opening up Guilds of Ravnica. So we can't send these cards off until the street date, which is in like a week. But we are allowed to open these and show you what is contained in the Guilds of Ravnica booster box. So anyway, that is what we will be doing. There are some goodies in here. I hope you all are going to be attending your pre-release at your local game store because your local game store does need your help. They really need your support right now. We are going through some pretty awful times. You can check out my other videos for why I think that way. So anyway, we have a lot of packs to open here. And we will get going rather than...
They really want you to open these packs.
I
don't know if you guys can see this, but it's cut up like 4 different places.
Hey, make it easy for all the challenge people to open. All right, so we'll get going here. Well, Zach's going to hand me the names. The first one is we're going to have May times 2. So I'm just going to go through a little bit faster. One of the complaints is we go through these too slow. And this is a new set, though, so we'll be trying to read through the cards. It's a nice little Dimir Informant, a 3-mana 1/4 when there's Battlefield Surveil 2. We'll do the commons for a little bit till we kind of get a gist of what's in it. The Rebel Belt Boar, 4 mana for a 3/3. When there's a battlefield, a creature gets +2/0. I kind of like this in aggressive Boros Shell for sure. Would also be good in like a Gruul deck when Gruul comes around. The Skyline Scout, a 2 mana for a 2/1. When Skyline Scout attacks, you may pay 2. It gains flying until its turn. I mean, it's a bear, sort of ish, with an upside. Veiled Shade, another kind of filler card. Shade, typical Shade ability. For 2 mana, it gets +1/+1. Luminous Spawn gets a reprint. Candlelight Vigil, 3 plus 3/2 in Vigilance for 4 mana on an Aura. The Piston Fist Cyclops, nice little hybrid card with Defender, and if you've cast an instant sorcery spell, you can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So it's a 4/3 for 3 mana that can turn to be aggressive. A 2/2 Death Toucher, a lot of Death Touchers in Golgari. A lot of fight cards too, by the way. Fresh Faced Recruit, a 2/1, and if it's your turn, it has First Strike. So again, kind of it seems to be a theme with these 2/1s. There's a bunch in the set. You should definitely think about that in your pre-release because 1 toughness is a liability sometimes. Necrotic Wound, target creature gets -X/-X for X number of creature cards in your graveyard. If it would die, this turn exile it. The World Soul Colossus, a Convoke, and enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters, so it's 2 mana, but then you can Convoke. Can get really big later on, and it's a nice little dump. I like this for sealed. The Plague Crafter. When Plague Crafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. So it's kind of an upgrade to the Fleshbag Marauder, in a way. It's a downgrade and upgrade. We have, these Sacred Foundries. So first pack, we open up a Shockland. Sacred Foundry. This is one the last time around in Standard actually went up higher than... It was a Gatecrash one, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Gatecrash was lower supply. And a foil Book Devourer. Trample, when Book Devourer deals combat damage to player, you may discard all the cards in your hand and draw that many cards. So cool in the Locust God.
Yeah, but it's 6 mana, though, right?
Yeah, 6 mana, but it's Commander.
Yeah,
Commander, you can do whatever the hell you want. And then a Boros Guildgate. So talk about a pack that's like, hey, let's go into Boros. Let's go into Boros here. There's your first pack, May. The second pack. And again, we'll get faster as we go along. This will probably be talking about special people that can't open up packs. Thanks, Wizards. I struggle. We have the Fearless Halberdier. I think that's how you say it. Halberdier. Sworn Companions create 2/1/1 lifelink soldiers for 3 mana. Maximize Altitude. I want to see Attitude there. Maximize Attitude. That's like a nice little inspiring card. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end turn with Jump Start. So I don't know how well these are going to be, especially in the when you have creatures that want to cast instant sorcery spells. It's going to be great. Geared Vexus lands later on. Torch Courier, 1/1 haste. Sacrifice to give another creature haste. I love this card. It's kind of a cool card to be able to get in for initial damage and then give something haste later on. Cool thing about this too is it's not a tap ability, so you can activate it the turn it comes into play. So really think this card is the bee's knees as far as design is concerned. Devkarin, Descendant, 2 mana for a 2/2. It gets +2/+2 until end turn for 5 mana. The Boros Locket. Man, Boros is a theme in this box. The Siege Worm with Convoke. This is a reprint. We've seen this before. Really, really good card. Do not underestimate it. The Goblin Electromancer, one of Zach's favorite cards, right? For your pre-release pool. Notion Rain. 3 mana for a Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards, and then it deals 2 damage to you. So Surveil 2, draw 2 cards, 2 damage to you. So kind of, yeah, that's a very, very good ability. And the Integrity to Intervention, +2/+2 on one end, 3 damage to any target, and you gain 3 life on the other end. The Hazda Marshal, whenever it has a Marshal and at least 2 other creatures attacking it, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. It's kind of cool. That's Maverin's ability.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, but 2 mana less, but it's got a worse body. But then you have to attack with 2 other creatures as well. Yeah, it's not nearly like that. The Wand of Vertebrae. Put to the top card of your library into your graveyard, exile the wand, shuffle 5 cards from your graveyard to library. This is kind of a cool card for decks that want to self-mill, like my Liliana's Adaptation deck, to where sometimes you mill your win conditions. This at least could put the win conditions back in, so kind of cool. And the Thousand Year Storm. This is a lot of controversy about this card. A lot of people are trying to figure out the power level. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast before this turn, you may choose new targets for new copies. Alright, the Conclave Cavalier, a 4/4. This is a foil. 2 foils in 2 packs. Whenever Cavalier dies, create 2 2/2 green and white elf knight creature tokens. So 4 mana for a 4/4 that leaves 2. That is a very solid card. Wow, at least in limited, that is an extremely solid card. So there you have it, May. There is your packs. And again, we'll be going quicker as we go through. So we have Carl, ×2 now. Carl gets 2 packs to open. The first one is going to be the Vidalcan Mesmerist. A 2/1 enters battlefield. Creatures your opponent control, or a creature your opponent controls -2/-0. The Honor Goblin. When it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 1 damage to that creature. This was printed back in one of the Innistrad blocks, and when you look at it, it didn't seem that powerful, but when you actually start having this in combat, this is an insanely powerful ability. Skyline Scout, we've seen it. We have the Moodmark Painter. Enters the battlefield, target creature gets menace and X+X+0. Where X the number of creature cards in your graveyard. So nice little pump spell on a black card. That's kind of cool. A 3/2 Vigilance for 3 mana. Command the Storm deals 5 damage to target creature, so not necessarily 5 mana, 5 damage spell. These shouldn't be underestimated in sealed, especially. Here's what I'm talking about with the 1 toughness check. Mephitic Vapors. All creatures you get -1/-1, and Surveil 2. So it's sorcery speed, though. Not as good as like instant speed with some of the Choking Vapor type cards in the past, but another Luminous Bond.
So that's not good for Pauper?
No, there's better things. The Surveil 2 might be okay for Pauper. The thing is, like, you already have this ability in 2 mana form at sorcery speed, and then you also have one at 3 mana at instant speed. So, and there's also one that's like instant speed non-black for 2 mana, I think, in Pauper. So I don't know where this will fit in. It all depends on the Surveil 2, if it's good enough for Pauper. See, I'm not the one detracting from the box opening. Now it's Zach asking questions.
I'm bored.
Hey, it's our stream. We can do whatever the hell we want. Vernati's Shieldmate, 2 mana for a 2/2 Vigilance with hybrid cost. Not a bad card. We've seen the Piston Fist Cyclops. The Glaive of the Guild Pact. It gets +1/+0 for each gate you control. Has Vigilance and Menace. Kind of overcosted. I don't know. It might be okay. The Beacon Bolt deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard, and then Jump Start. So not bad for a possible sort of 2 for 1 because late game your lands are useless. I like the Jump Start ability. Alright, so Crawl Swarm, it's a 4/1 for 5 mana, and for 3 mana you can discard a creature card or return it to your hand. And the rare is the Experimental Frenzy, another card that's very, very controversial right now as far as people are trying to figure out where the power is. You can look at the top card of your library at any time and play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. So a lot of people are saying this is exactly what like a red deck wants. You're out of cards by the time you play it, so who cares about the potential more than one
you can
card?
play lands too,
yes.
huh? Yeah.
But the problem is you still draw a card per turn, but it doesn't matter. It's like you still have a draw underneath it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what people are saying. If your hand is empty, Experimental Frenzy is very, very good at then going. Everyone that's seen my Vizier the Menagerie deck, that's exactly how that deck operates. Is you're trying to. Your hand is empty by the time you have Vizier the Menagerie, and then you're just trying to go off the top of your library. Where Vizier the Menagerie gets stuck is sometimes you have lands on top or another Ronus's monument on top. This, if there's a land on top, you can play it. So it's going to have
insane.
Yeah, there's going to be some pretty good synergy with the experimental
Plus, then
frenzy.
you just draw your land, because in red you're not going to need more than 5 lands.
Well, yeah, the next turn you'll draw, and then whatever else is on top will be like the replacement draw. So yeah, experimental frenzy. I'm with the people that are saying that it's a powerful effect. We'll have to wait and see, because Vizier Menagerie was a powerful deck that not enough people, I think, utilized. And the biggest problem with Vizier Menagerie was it was a creature that got like Vraska's Contempt, and that's my issue with it. It's you had to have it stick and play, and a lot of times they removed it, and you felt really far behind. The good thing about arena players is they're stupid, and a lot of times you'd have like another threat on board, like a Ronus or a Wildgrowth Walker, and they'd kill that instead of your Vizier. They should always kill the Vizier. Anyway, that deck is now rotated, so who cares? All right, so the Barging Sergeant Haste Mentor for 4/2. The 10th District Guard enters the battlefield. Target creature gets +0/+1. Disdainful Stroke was a reprint. Torch Courier. Sacrifice Torch Courier, another creature getting haste. Yeah, we saw that one. Pax Favor, +3/3 Convoke. We saw the Veiled Shade. Undergrowth. Forger enters the battlefield. You gain 1 life for each. Our Undergrowth, when Crawl Foragers enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard. 5 mana for a 4/4. The Burglar Rat, when enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Garrison Sergeant has double strikes on controlled gate, so it potentially can do 6 damage by itself. Deadly Visit, surveil 2 and destroy a creature. Conclave Tribunal, this is actually a really, really awesome card. I still think Ixalan's Binding's better in almost every circumstance, but if you are a very creature-heavy deck, this would be pretty good. Like, I would have loved this in the Catcher's Monument deck, because it does have Convoke, and has the Ixalan's Binding type effect, but you don't, like, get rid of their ability to cast another one. So I don't know, this might actually be better. In creature decks, probably better. Crawl Harpooner, it's a 3/2 for 2 mana with reach, and when it enters the battlefield, choose 1 target creature with flying you don't control, and you can give it +X/0 or X number of creature cards in your graveyard, and then have it fight that creature. So it's a good way to get rid of flying creatures. We have the Inescapable Blaze, which is a 6 damage to any target, can't be countered for 6 mana. It's actually a pretty reasonable. Did anyone ever play with Urza's Rage? Any Invasion players? Urza's Rage was really solid in that time period, because if you kicked it, it couldn't be countered, and damage couldn't be printed, and I believe that's what it did. And at the time period, counter decks were very, very, very popular, and Urza's Rage was a way for aggro decks to guarantee that they had a finisher. Now, this could also be the same thing in this day and age. If we do have like a mono red, the 6 mana isn't unreasonable to curve out of, and you'd probably not want to play many of these, but this could be, okay, I got all I need to do now is get my opponent down to 14 life, and I can try to guarantee a spell that can go through. Now, damage can still be prevented, but it can't be countered. And the rare is the Omnispell Adept, a 5 mana for a 3/4. For 3 mana, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost. How do you like that card, Zach?
Yay. Wait. That's pretty freaking cool. That's
Commander,
way cool.
That's way cool.
Wow.
There's some potential things that are so broken with this, with sorceries that I still think exist in Standard that have insanely high costs.
Well, there's River's Rebuke right there. I mean,
what's the Worst Fears is way gone. I'm thinking of cards like Worst Fears that are like 9 mana or 10 mana.
Yeah.
Is there any in Standard right now? Someone in the comment section let us know if there's some broken things you can do with the Adept. The problem is this is kind of the Champion Ronus thing, where, you know, when Desolator Magic talked about Champion of Ronus was the greatest card ever and was so busted, broken, and I was like, well, okay, you got to untap with it. How many decks can you untap with a threat like this? This is even kind of worse, where it's a 5 mana investment and a 3 mana. But if you can untap with this, oh boy, there's some juicy stuff you can do. So I like these cards, probably unplayable in Constructed, but nonetheless I like these cards. So there we go. We're down 2 people. Woo! Kevin is long-winded.
I might just take over in a little bit.
Andrew ×2. Thing is, I won't be reading through the comments that we've already seen. We've seen Eloxan Restore with Convoke. We have a Crab 2/5. Barrier of Bones enters the battlefield. Surveil 1, a 0/3 for 1. This card's actually kind of decent in decks that I'm thinking I think there's better stuff in Pauper, but man, it's almost there for decks that like Torture Existence type decks.
Smell the cards.
Oh yeah, they have a weird
smell.
Oh wow, people, when you smell Magic cards, it's almost there, but there is a weird smell to it.
Weird oily almost smell.
Yeah, me and Zach are sniffing cards out here. See how addicts we are to Magic. It doesn't smell the same. Generous Stray, 3 mana for a 1/2 draw card. Kind of an Elvish Visionary, but it's 1 more mana, and that means everything. The Centaur Peacemaker, each player gains 4 life when it comes into play. So if you are like a big mid-range deck, a lot of times if you're Celestial, you don't need to, like, Stabilizer for Zagros is a big deal, and Control, this also probably isn't a big deal. So this card's, I think, a little bit better than some people give it credit for. This ability to stabilize from aggro. Darkblade Agent, if you've surveilled this turn, it has Death Touch, and when it deals damage to a player, you draw a card. The Devious Cover-Up, it's a counter spell, and if it was countered this way, you exile it instead, and then you can shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard to your library. The Erstwhile Trooper, a 2/2, you can discard a card. Erstwhile Trooper gets +2/+2 and trample. Until in turn, activated only once per turn. Skyline Legionnaire got a reprint with Flying Haste as a 2/2. The Whisper Agent, love this card. Flash when it enters the battlefield, surveil 1. So we all knew about this was a card that was in M19. It was really good, Hired Assassin or something like that. But this also has the upside of surveil at the cost of like a hybrid mana. So in Dimir, it's a lot better, it's strictly better. In a black deck, it's the surveil 1 at the cost of 1 colorless versus 1 black is where we'd have to see if it's better or not. Usually that is for surveil 1. Surveil, in my opinion, is just strictly better than Scry. Alright, so target Justice Strike, 2 mana, target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. The Banneret, it is a Mentor 1/1 goblin with the ability to give it +2/+0. A lot of people are really liking this for some mono red aggro decks, or if you go into goblins, because a lot of those will be 1 power, and so the Mentor actually does become relevant if it comes out later on, or even if you have a haster later down the road. I don't know. It's the pump is really hard to get the Mentor ability to work with it though. Thought Erasure, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose an online card from it, that player discards that card, surveil 1. Vivid Revival is the rare for Andrew. Return up to 3 target multicolored cards from your graveyard to your hand and then exile it. So we'll see if that is actually, reminds me of, you have to exile the Vivid Revival though, instead of shuffle into your library. So what was the deck during Shadows of Innistrad that had the similar ability? I can't remember. I played the death out of it, where you got back some different cards of different types, and then you put that card, you shuffled the card back in. This, unfortunately, you have to exile it. So Celestia Guildgate and an Emblem. Pack number 2 for Andrew. We have the Sure Strike. Color of the Culprit. Destroy a creature with toughness power 4 or greater. The Divine. Defender. Sacrifice a creature with Defender. Draw a card. Never happened. And what a name. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an online card from that player. Card from that player's graveyard or hand in exile. So it's just strictly better than Coercion? No, there's a card that did this back in one of the Innistrads. Yep, so these actually have seen sideboard plays before. Artful Takedown, choose one or both. Tap target creature, or target creature gets -2, -4. Really, really good combat trick. Kill their aggressive creature, tap down another one. Or their weaker creature, tap down the other one. Samala Wood Worshipper, a 4 mana for a 2/1. When enters the battlefield, the top 4 cards of your library, you reveal a creature or enchantment card and put it into your hand. Nice little, that's a great ability. So you know how powerful like Militia Bugler is? This is just like, it's 1 more mana, 2 colors, but solid ability. Devious Cover-Up, we've seen it. The Lurcher enters the battlefield with a number of +1 counters equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. 2/2 for 4. There's a big upside to this card. It doesn't have some sort of evasive effect though. The Legionnaire, Darkblade Agent, Boros Challenger, we've seen all of these before. No, we haven't seen this. Mentor, 2/3 for 2, and you can pump it up for +1/+1. Wish it was reversed, 3/2, not 2/3. Gatekeeper's Gargoyle, 6 mana for flying, enters the battlefield with +1 counter for each gate you control. Could be really good in some, when you draft. A lot of people might be going like 4 color, 5 color, good stuff. Well, it would, yeah, I could see that actually happening, and the Gargoyles being the key card to make that strategy work. Crossworm and the Mythic, the Chance for Glory. Creatures you control gain indestructible. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. Kind of cool, because a lot of aggro decks, you only need 1 more turn, and a Dimir Guildgate and a Bird Illusion. So there you go, Andrew. All right, let's speed these things up. That was faster, right? Jesse times 2. We have the Kevin Kent Open Packs. We have the Unexplained Disappearance. Return a creature, surveil. The Cause Motronic Wave deals 1 damage to each creature you control. Creatures your opponents control can't block. Sworn Companions. You create 2/1/1 white soldier creature tokens of lifelink. Crushing Canopy is a reprint. We've seen the Barrier of Bones. the locket. Each one of these has a specific color, or one of the guilds has a locket. This particular one can be sacrificed for 4 in tap. Centaur Peacemaker, Darkblade Agent, Devious Cover-Up. This is like the same, wow, that was the same run of cards we saw in another one. Nightvale Predator, 4 mana for a 3/3 flying Death Touch Hexproof. Woo-wee! That is a very good card for 4 mana, I think. But I don't know, it's hard to cast. Feels like it almost wants Lifelink rather than Death Touch here. I'm not sure. Goblin Crater Maker. This is another card that's really been talked about. You can sacrifice it to do either 2 damage to target creature or destroy target colorless non-land permanent. So that's artifacts or Eldrazi's, or non-land permanent. Yeah, destroys Karn.
That's crazy.
Right? Destroy target no colorless. Yeah, non-land permanent. Destroys Karn.
Holy cow.
Dimir Spybug, Flying Menace. Whenever you surveil, put a +1 counter on the Spybug. That's really good. And the Walking Ballista replacement for my combo deck, but definitely not a Walking Ballista. The Chamber Sentry, X mana for a creature that comes into play with X +1 counters on it, where X is the amount of colors you spent to cast it. Then you can remove X +1 counters from it, and it deals X damage to any target. So yeah, definitely not a Walking Ballista, but you can also return it from your graveyard to your hand for 5 mana. I think this might be underrated. Everyone underrated Walking Ballista. Remember, this is just a nice little X spell that if you're in a 2-color deck, it's a 2/2 for 2 that then has the upside of killing off 2 1/1s, or even killing off a 2/2 for 2 mana. Or yeah, it's pretty good. And man, we're opening up the Dimir Guild Gates like crazy. There you go, Jesse, for the first pack. The second pack, we have the Fire Urchin, Trample. Instant, whenever casting instant sorcery spell, gets +1/+0 to end a turn. Whoa, out of focus there. The Intrusive Pack Beast, when it enters the battlefield, up to 2 target creatures, tap up to 2 target creatures your opponent controls. Dowser of Lights, Pack's Favor, Hired Poisoner, Shieldmate, Hypothesis, will draw 2 cards, and you may discard an on-land card. Prey Upon, Hammer Droper, Minotaur 5/2, Dimir Locket, Boros Challenger, Pilfering Imp. Sacrifice Pilfering, target opponent reveals their hand, you choose an online card from it. That player discards that card. Kind of cool. It's like a Kitesail Freebooter, but doesn't lead back the body, but also when it dies, it doesn't. And it takes a turn. I don't know how I feel about this, because it takes your turn 1 and turn 2, so you might get in for like 1 damage. Cards that can recur cards, it's definitely better than Kitesail for that. So yeah, this is interesting. Dragonaut's got a reprint, good card. And we have the Gruesome Menagerie. This, choose a creature card with confirmed back cost 1, then do the same for 2 and 3 and return those cards. So good aggressive cards. You're giving back 6 mana for 5, but it's probably going to be less power than what you could spend on 5 a lot of times. So there's a trade-off there. There you go, Jesse. All right, David. All right, I think we're going to skip to just the uncommons now. I think we've seen enough commons, so I will just kind of fan through the commons now, and we'll skip right to the uncommons. All right, so first uncommon, Rock Charger. When it attacks target attacking creature without flying, gains flying until end of turn. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, the Murmuring Mystic creates a 1/1 blue bird illusion creature token with flying. A lot of people loving this card. My whole concern is it's 4 mana. We had a card called, what was that one that created drakes? And it was tough.
Drake Haven or something.
No. Wait, but it's the legendary creature that Talrand.
Oh.
So I mean, this is like a strictly easier on the mana base. Has a 1/5 body. There's a lot of things going for this card, but those decks have traditionally been hard to play in standard. Gird for battle. Put a +1 counter on each above 2 target creatures. Legion War Boss. Wow, there we go. This card I think would have the ability to go up if it was not printed in the guild packs or the guild whatever they're called. Guild, what are they called, Zach? Guild something? Guild packs? Guild decks?
Guild packs.
Yeah, this is one of them that's going to be in there. Mentor, at the beginning of combat in your turn, create a 1/1 goblin creature token with haste. That token gains haste. Oh, create a 1/1 token. That creature gains haste until turn and attacks this turn. So you get a 1/1 the first turn. If you cast this second main phase, you don't have to attack with it. What really makes it the second turn this is out, you're attacking with Legion War Boss, hopefully the other 1/1 token, and then you're going to put a +1 counter on one of the tokens. So it's a pretty powerful little ability. Another Bird Illusion. Man, this is like every pack is out of Bird Illusion. And do you want to do one right now?
They're all the same.
You can unlock by saying play Ravnica. That's how you unlock the code.
3 booster packs
on Arena. All you have to put is play Ravnica. All right. I thought there was codes on here, actually.
I thought there was going to be too.
That's lame. There's
David needs another one.
David. This is David. We didn't even say hi to David. Hi, David.
Is that our David?
That's our David. We miss you, David.
I didn't realize that.
We miss you so much it hurts sometimes, David. Did I do that right? I can't remember the meme. You kids are probably too young for that meme anyway.
For everything.
No one likes Scrubs. Anyone even watch Scrubs anymore?
Oh my gosh, that
Scrubs is I
Scrubs cried at every end of every episode.
You cried at Scrubs? I guess there were some of them that were like that. All right, so let's go to the House Guild Mage.
What? You all right?
This title of this card just made me kind of laugh here for a second. What? That's all I'm going to say about it. Oh. Come on. Target creature doesn't untap during its controls an untap phase for 2, and 3 is Surveil 2. It's pretty solid for a grindy game. Electrostatic Field, Defender, you can cast instant sorcery spells, or whenever you cast instant sorcery spells, deals 1 damage to each opponent. So it's a Thermal Alchemist. Almost, wow. But you don't get to tap Thermal Alchemist. You got to tap Thermal Alchemist every turn if you didn't even cast one. This is gonna get if you cast the instant sorcery the same turn as this comes out or multiple, that's where it's good. So it has a combo potential better in my opinion for like a Storm Off type deck than Alchemist. But Alchemist, if once you do have the haste off of it or the summoning sickness,
rare in there.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, I don't know. It's kind of either way at the field. District Guide, when enters the battlefield, search live for basic land or gate and put it into your hand. We have the Chromatic Lantern.
Ooh.
Nice reprint. You should be stockpiling these because these will go back up. And
sad.
That is pretty though. I know. I thought that is a planeswalker, but I'm like, there is no planeswalker of that. Nimizet the Perun can't be countered. Flying, whenever you draw a card, it deals 1 damage to any target. And whenever a player casts instant sorcery spell, you draw a card. It can go it can definitely go crazy though. Yeah. No, this is like
is that another new one?
Yeah, it's trying to like do an old Nimizet ability because you can still like throw Curiosity on this and go crazy with it.
Yeah.
It goes infinite if that case. However, it's they try to do like kind of the best of both of them. So I actually like this card. It's got like a really prohibitive mana cost. Like look at that mana cost.
Yeah, that's a little
triple. So keep that in mind.
5/5.
Well, 5/5 flying can't be countered for 6 mana. If you're on colors with that, is pretty solid. The mana times are going to be screwed though with trying to cast that. It's more like an 8-drop than a 6-drop because you're gonna have 4 red. You're gonna have 4 blue, 5 blue sometimes. So yeah. So Cody, here's your 2 packs. And here we go. We'll fan out to the uncommons. We have here I'll fan through in case you want any, but I don't think we just send out the uncommons and commons unless you really want a common. We got the Conclave Cavalier, the Rampaging Monument. This one enters the battlefield with 3+1 counters. When we cast a multicolored spell, put a +1 counter on it. Not a bad card for a 4-mana 3/3. Creeping Chill deals 3 damage to each opponent. You gain 3 life, and when it is put into your graveyard from your library, you may exile it. When it is put in your graveyard from your library, you may exile it. If you do, Creeping Chill deals 3 damage to each opponent. And you gain 3 life. So Surveil, it's amazing. This is, I don't know. This seems like modern crazy that someone's going to come up with something where it can, or put this from your graveyard back on top of your library.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Ooh, that's
Foil, it is a Guildgate. There we go. Where's the rare? Oh wow, it's like kind of stuck. Citywide Bust. Destroy all creatures with toughness 4 or greater. Okay, here we go. Here's the other pack. We will fan to the uncommons. Go for the True Fire Captain. We've seen this one before. This is the Boros Reckoner reprint. Sort of. Whenever the captain is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. This would be a fun brew card for sure. The Hasna Marshal. We've seen this one. The Glowspore Shaman. Whenever it enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. See it right there. It works with that card we showed. And you may put a land card from your graveyard on top of your library. 3/1 for 2 mana. Sure, if you need a land, go for it. I kind of like these because sometimes when I play self-mill decks, I'm like, God, I need a land. And this actually, like, because I'll keep a 2-lander and I want 3, and then you end up milling lands, like, crap. And then you just watch a lot of my videos where that scenario happens all the time. Blood Operative, a 3/1 for 3 with lifelink, enters the battlefield. You can exile a target card from a graveyard. Going to be very relevant in my opinion. And whenever you Surveil, if Blood Operative is in your graveyard, you may pay 3 life and return it to your hand. So another one that pairs the other card. You get your 3 life back and 3 damage, and you get the Blood Operative back. The Venerated Loxodon on foil. This is another card I don't know the power level quite yet.
2 foiled rares in a box?
Yeah. And if foil mythic, wasn't it a mythic or is it a rare?
That's a rare.
Oh, it's a rare. Convoke, when it enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on each creature that convoked it. This card I think is pretty good because the mana cost is, you can actually get this out very, very quickly if it's a deck that's putting out tokens. Like the same turn you cast, remember Serval's Exhibition, SRAM's Expertise?
Yes,
Like if that existed, you cast it, 3 mana, throw another creature into play. If that puts in 2 things, you get a free Venerated Loxodon plus a +1 counter on all of those creatures. Cool card there. All right, there you go, Cody. We have Miker. Appreciate it. Most of the patrons have opted for ×2. We have a lot on ×2 now. We got Miker has the Rubble Belt Boar. We're not going through those though. Rubble Belt Boar is a great card, sure. We have the Arboretum Elemental, Convoke Hexproof. The Swarm Guild Mage, 2/2, creature you control at +1/+1 menace, and you gain 2 life is the other ability for 2 mana and tap. Sinister Sabotage, counter spell, Surveil 1. This is the best counter spell I think we have now with the rotation of the Disallow, because it's an upside. We've seen other cards like this exist before with Scry. Sure to Assemble, put a +1 counter on target creature. That creature again is indestructible, so it can protect a creature and pump it up. Or, if you get to 6 mana, you can create 3 2/2 elves. Not a bad. I love these option cards.
I do too.
They did a good job on them this time.
But you can't cast both of them at the same time, can you?
No, it's not Fuse.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, we still have another pack for Miker.
Yep.
It's not Fuse, but it's like the original ones in original Ravnica. But a lot of those, there was like one that was like strictly better in most, or they didn't like work off each other in scenarios.
Yeah.
Like these ones, I think they did a very good job. All right, so we will go to the look. You started out the Rubble Belt Boar again. We got our House Guild Mage, Snicker, Electrostatic Field. The Swathcutter Giant has Vigilance and attacks. It deals 1 damage to each creature if any player controls. Really good breaker in Limited. And we have Tajik, Legion's Edge. 3 mana, haste, mentor. Prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. And the Tajik Legion Edge gains first strike until turn for 2 mana. So it's funny, they kind of reversed how Tajik works. It used to be very good at, it was indestructible last time.
Yeah.
And now it's helping other creatures become indestructible this time. So I wonder if there's a storyline change to that. And he became sacrificial.
I can't read the story, so...
Yeah, me either. Good lord.
All right.
Frank, this is our last times too. Frank. We have the Ornery Goblin that you don't need to worry about. He's ornery. We'll go to the uncommons. We have the Lead of Champion, 3 mana for a 2/2. Whenever it attacks you, tap any number of untapped creatures you control. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature tapped this way. For 5 mana, you can create a soldier with lifelink. The Golgari Findbroker. This is the Eternal Witness sort of reprint with 4 mana for 2 black and 2 green. You only are able to get a permanent back from your graveyard when it enters the battlefield, but still pretty solid. Yes, it can't get a Coco back, but there's a lot of combos that do want permanents. So yeah, it's very, very solid. The Grappling Sundew, 2 mana for a 0/4 defender reach. Grappling Sundew gains indestructible until the turn, so it works with Arcades. And the Guild Mage's Forum, add a color to your mana pool and 1 in tap. Add 1 mana of any color. If this mana is spent on a multicolor creature spell, that creature enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. There might be some decks that really will like this. I'm sure in the history of Magic, like Animar, I don't know if I like the colorless aspect of it in Animar, but if you need to cast Animar on turn 2, it comes into play with a +1/+1 counter, or a turn late, it comes into play at least with a +1/+1 counter. So the Golgari Guildgate and a Soldier. So there's the first one, Frank. Your second pack is... Go on to the uncommons. We have the Join Shields, 5 mana for an untap. All creatures you control, they gain hexproof and indestructible. It's a weird ability though, because at this point 5 mana is a huge investment to try to protect. Yes, it's on par with like a board wipe that's trying to kill your stuff, but holding up 5 mana, whew, that's pretty rough. Undercity Necrolisk, a 4 mana for a 3/3, sacrifice another creature, put a +1 counter on it, and it gains Menace. You can only activate this ability anytime you can cast a sorcery. Discovery to Dispersal. You surveil 2, then draw a card for 2. That's what everyone's really liking, this portion of it. And then the 5 mana is each opponent returns an online permanent they control with the highest converted mana cost among permanents they control, and then discard a card. What's really cool about this ability, if anyone's ever played Pauper with, I'm trying to think of the card that bounces back a permanent and then they have to discard a card. This can actually, it can get like lands, so you can't eventually lock people out like that. But I mean, it's going to be their biggest threat, and if they're out of cards, they have to then discard that. So it almost is creature removal. It's kind of weird for a removal, though. It's pretty 5 mana is pretty high. Light of the Legion, Flying Minotaur. When Light of the Legion dies, put a +1 counter on each white creature you control. And we have a foil, Luminous Bonds, Womp Womp, and it is at Guildgate.
Ooh.
That's some pretty cool, definitely some pretty cool cards in here. All right, on to Juan. New patron, I believe. Howdy, howdy. We'll go on to the uncommons. We have the Truefire Captain, Creeping Chill, the Thoughtbound Phantasm, a 1 mana for a defender for a 2/2. Whenever you surveil, you put a +1 counter on it. As long as it has 3 or more +1 counter, you can attack without defender. This is solid 1-drop as a 2/2.
Yeah, that's not bad. Holy cow.
Yeah, and then surveilling. I like this card. I don't know how well surveilling is going to work in constructed, but it's definitely a build around card. Firemind's Research, 2 mana. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. Remove 2 charge counters, draw a card. Remove 5 charge counters, do 5 damage. Yeah, it takes some work, but it definitely starts getting value after 2 instances.
Yeah.
Draw a card. It's really grindy, though. Usually, you typically see these type of abilities on a creature, so you can have some sort of value with it. But the other portion of that, though, is it's hard to remove as an enchantment. So I think it's a really good card if there ever is like a blue-red control type deck and you go against a mirror match. I think that's like going to be a key card. Yeah. So it's a great sideboard card in my opinion. All right, so we have Efren. Howdy, Efren. Everyone go check out Efren's channel. He opens booster packs more than I do at the Crack Pack Fever. Not more than Zach does. Alrighty. Golgari Raiders, 4 mana for a haste, and when enters the battlefield with a +1 counter for each creature card in your graveyard. Not a bad card. The Banneret, we've seen that one. The Glowspore Shaman, we've seen this one. And we've seen the Nib Mizzet. Unfortunately, Efren, you don't get a foil. You just get a regular. But you do get a Guildgate, so at least Nib Mizzet comes with a Guildgate to help cast those awful mana base for Nib Mizzet. Chad. Howdy, Chad. How's the bird doing? One of these days I'll get back to visit. We will go to the uncommons. We have Guild Summit. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may tap any number of untapped gates you control to draw a card for each gate tapped this way. And if you have any gates left at this point, whenever a gate enters the battlefield, your control, draw a card. Wow. Maze's End. That's kind of sweet. That's Invert cool. To invent. Switch the power and toughness of up to each 2 target creatures. Great in like defender sort of stuff.
Isn't that till
there's
end
a
of
0?
turn,
Yeah,
though?
there's a 0/8.
Yeah, that was supposed to. They
Did they errat it?
They errated it.
Okay,
yes.
They did errat this because they had a mistake. That's actually unusual for Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've errated
it.
Should have
said till end of turn. Yeah.
So it didn't just switch it and then you're good. Search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Search your library for an instant and a sorcery card. Yeah, that's pretty cool. 2 for 1 there. Invert's kind of cool in that sort of ability. Yeah, it would really work if this was a common, like Tireless Tribe type stuff, but that's kind of weird. In Enhanced Surveillance, you may look at an additional 2 cards each time you surveil. Cool. Exile Enhanced Surveillance, shuffle your graveyard. So how that work? You can instead of look at the top. Yeah, okay, that's Surveillance says look at the top card, so then it replaces it. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, or no, that Surveil. I think it just adds towards the Surveil.
I don't. There was a lot.
Surveillance can go into your graveyard.
I haven't finished listening to all the rules yet because I know this card is really weird. People aren't 100% for sure. But we'll get back to you guys on
Exile
that.
It, shuffle your graveyard into your library. Camaraderie, you gain X life and draw a card where X number of creatures you control. Creatures you control +1/+1 until end of turn. That's gonna be cool in a if you have a lot of mana. Way to then draw a lot of cards per creature you have. And Golgari Guildgate. There you go, Chad. We have Spencer.
Spencer, a new one?
Yes. All right, let's go on to the uncommons. We have the Chemist's Instart, Jumpstart, draw 2 cards. I really like this card. I think it's like going to replace Glimmer. It's 2 mana for 4 as well.
Yeah,
but then you can discard a land later on, or just you have an excess card you don't need anymore. And unfortunately, fortunately, not unfortunately, you guys will still have to wait for my top 10 cards. I'm glad rotate out of standard, and I'm sure you know that Torrential Gearhulk's on that list because I hate that card. But that's kind of really pushed these type of cards over the top. Inspiring Unicorn. And when attack creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn, 4 mana for a 2/2. Thought Erasure, we've seen it. Drowned Secrets, 2 mana whenever you cast a blue spell. Target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Alrighty. A mill card. But Fraying Sanities is rotating, so that's going to be tough.
Sad.
You still do have all those mill cards from M19, though.
I know. That's all I want to play is mill. Too bad Ashiok's not back.
Ashiok, Zach's pet card. Rock Charger. When it attacks, target attacking creature with without flying gains flying. 3 mana for 1/3. This is the exact same thing as a Charging Pegasus, right? Crackling Drake, a star 4, 4 mana. Crackling Drake's power is equal to the number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Good, it cantrips itself. A Convoke 4/5 with flying. If we learned anything with last time Convoke, this is actually very castable, even though it's 8. And a 4/5 flying is no joke. There's an Angel that was very similar to that. 7 mana 1. It was a 5/5. Underrealm Lich. Woo, that was one of the better free. I can't know. Thought we had some other ones.
Yes, we did.
If you draw a card instead, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You can pay for life to give it indestructible and tap it. Still doesn't get rid of Vraska's Contempt at the moment and Ixalan's Binding. But yeah, it is going to be very good. Card for just sheer value. All right, we have Brandon. Man, these patron views are long now. I'm trying to do this one more thoroughly. Maybe I should just go through it before. Yeah. Undersea Necrolis, we've seen it. The World Soul Colossus, Convoke and enter battlefield with X+1/+1 counters. Plague Crafter, we saw this. Thief of Sanity, this is an awesome card. It's kind of a Nightveil Spectre reprint. 3 mana for a 2/2 flying. When it deals combat damage, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile 1, and put the rest in your graveyard. For as long as it's exiled, you may look at it and cast it, and spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Doesn't work with lands, but you get to go through the top 3 cards. And look how nice they are. They give you the Dimir Guildgate to cast it with. There you go, Brandon. I think wasn't Brandon supposed to get 2 of them? Maybe we'll open up another pack again. I think we messed up with that, Brandon.
Did we make up? No. Oh well. I'm sorry, my bad.
Logan, yeah, go grab us another pack. Hey, we'll do one more pack after. Oh, we've called Logan for this. We'll get Brandon another pack though. Let's go to the Murmuring Mystic, Boros Challenger, Wand of Verbatim. Seen all those, and the Chamber Sentry. There you go, Logan. I like that. Again, I think the Chamber Sentry is still underrated. I get it. It's no Walking Ballista, but everyone needs to quit comparing cards to comparing cards. When Walking Ballista came out, I made the mistake, and other people made the mistake, of trying to compare it to Hangerback Walker. And then everyone's like, wow, Walking Ballista is actually better than Hangerback Walker. And I don't think that this is ever going to be better than Hangerback Walker, but I also don't think it's terrible. All right, here we go, Brandon. Here's your second pack. We have Justice Strike, Disinformation Campaign. When there's a battlefield, you draw a card for each opponent, and each opponent discards a card. And then whenever you're surveilled, you return to your hand. That's pretty cool. We have the Inescapable Blaze, the Troll, a 4/4. You can exile a creature card from your graveyard to put a +1 counter, otherwise sacrifice it. So it requires an upkeep cost of eating your own graveyard to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're able to discard a card to put a +1 counter. Pretty good limited. Constructed can be a huge liability. There's Brandon. And that was Logan. Or no, that's the excess stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we have Mike. Mike B. Not to be confused with Miker. Let's go to the Lava Coil. Disinformation Campaign, District Guide, and a Find Finality. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand, and you may put, or the other part is for 6 mana, you can put 2 +1 counters on a creature you control. Then all creatures get -4 until end of turn. I just love these cards so much. The versatility is huge. And I know I said that about the Amonkhet ones too, and they end up not being as good because they're meant to work off each other. But I don't know. I like these ones a lot better. Christopher!
I don't know, I like having options in Magic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. We have the Smelt Ward Minotaur for a 2/3. When you cast an instant sorcery spell, target creature can't block. Flower to Flourish. Search your library for a forest or plains card. Basic though. You can't get. It says basic. You can't get a shock land. And then for 6 mana creatures, you get +2/+2. This is one I actually am not in the least excited about, but I get it. It's kind of like a tune where it has an upside to it, but it can't fix like more than a 2-color deck.
Yeah,
and can't get a shock land. Sprouting Renewal, 3 mana, Convoke. You choose one. Put a 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token with vigilance, or destroy an artifact enchantment. And again, I think this is just better than a bear for 3 mana. Like, if you can convoke into this kind of for free. This can be a free spell with enough creatures. And response to Resurgence. Response deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and Resurgence, creatures you control in first strike, vigilance, and after this main phase there's additional combat phase. I like this one the most because this is a very relevant ability early, and this is a finisher. Removal, finisher, all in one card. You're going to use this probably no matter what in most scenarios. If it's not good though, this ability most likely is going to be good at that point in time. Love that card. And we have a foil, Maximize Velocity. I'm still thinking about in like Pauper Heroic mono red. It might be there because there is a lot of flashback cards, but I don't know if that's actually +1/+1 haste is just strictly better than just the haste with a lot of them have. And then the jump start again, you just have an excess land. There you go. Okay, we have go to the uncommons. We have Join Shields. Until we've seen this one. Street Riot. As long as your turn, creatures have +1/+0 and trample for 5 mana though. Ugh. Flight of the Equinauts. We've seen it. The Erratic Cyclops. This is kind of another interesting card. A 0/8 for 4 mana. Whenever you cast a sorcery spell, it gets +X/+0, whereas the convert is mana cost. So, like right here, you cast the Join Shields. It's getting +5/+0 from one spell. But again, it's a pretty big cost. It's something like Fire Breathing, but the Fire Breathing portion is the converted mana cost. And you can do an instant speed with instances. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, a lot of times it's going to, hey, cool, I can open up a pack for myself. For Kevin, yay!
Yeah.
I'm the biggest patron of Rogue Deck Builder. I spend all my money on Rogue Deck Builder. Now, this is for Kevin the patron. Alrighty, so we have the Chemist's Insight, the League Guild Mage, Playcrafter, and Thief of Sanity. We have seen all those ones. Great little pack, though, there with the Dimir. There you go, Kevin. We got John next. John. Okay, to the uncommons, we have Guild Summit, Glaive of the Guild Pack, Hellkite Whelp. It's flying 5 mana dragon attacks. It deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. Too bad this wasn't undercosted. Could work with Sarkhan a lot better. That's the problem with dragons. They're all like the same. Oh, and we have a Sacred Foundry. That's the second Sacred Foundry. So 2 Shocklands. Do we get another one, Zach, or is that it? And I think it's just 2 Sacred Foundries.
Oh, just 2 Sacred? Yeah, that's it. I think
maybe there was another one. I can't remember.
No, there wasn't.
Command Storm deals 5 damage to target creature and a Guild Gate, which we don't care about Guild Gates. They've been reprinted so many times already. There you go, John. Matt.
At least the Guild Gates are pretty this time.
Matt, we have. Let's go to the uncommons. Nightvale Sprite, one of my favorite cards out of the set for 2 mana for a 1/2, and when it attacks, Surveil 1. It is such a Surveil enabler. I like this card. The Integrity to Intervention, Thoughtbound Phantasm, Dawn of Hope. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2 to draw a card, and then for 4 mana, you can create a soldier creature token with lifelink. I don't know, that's a lot. That's a lot of investment for very weak abilities, in my opinion.
Ooh, look at that. There you go, Matt. I don't know. It's still fun.
Oh yeah,
you don't have to tap it.
Limited is it's an enchantment.
Yeah.
But still, I'm telling you, that's a lot of investment. There's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of I don't know. It's great in limited. I don't know. Maybe in constructed as a grinding card against those type of matchups.
Grinder.
Demotion. Enchanted creature can't block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Conclave Guild Mage. Creatures gain trample for 1 in tap, and then you can create a 2/2 for 6 in tap. The Crush Contraband, exile an artifact or enchantment or both. Great commander card. Stevens! There we go.
Is gorgeous.
This when we talk about.
That's my favorite art.
Yeah, but where's the steam?
I'll put steam on there for you. Do you want me to put some steam on there for you?
That's what everyone's been complaining about this card. Is this? It's like the Guild Gate's got steam. This is like throwing lightning out everywhere.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, this is for Nicholas. We have the Affectionate Indrik. That you can have it fight a creature you don't control for 6 mana for 4. Invert Invent, another Creeping Chill. Errata the Silencer, awesome card in limited. When it can't be blocked and be those common damage player, you get to exile a creature that player controls. Put a hit counter on it. That player loses the game if they own 3 or more exiled cards with hit counters. So 3 creatures gone with hit counters, boom, you win. And it's kind of crazy too in Commander, like if someone takes control of your Commander and starts exiling stuff from other people, it's still hit counters that are exiled. It doesn't mean that this Errata needs to be exiling them. And again, the Dimir Guildgate with the Dimir Rare. I don't know if there's been so...
That would be so hard to do.
I know. It's crazy though. There's been a lot of...
But all the cards that look good, I haven't seen anything even like slightly off on it.
Adrian, how's Malta, my friend? Let's go to the Beamsplitter Mage. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only the Beamsplitter Mage, you get to choose. If you control one or more other creatures that spell could target, choose one of those creatures and you copy it for that creature. The Cruel Harpooner, the Lotleth Giant, March of the Multitudes, another card. This is one of the most anticipated cards that people think will push Selesnya by having an instant speed kind of way to put out a bunch of 1/1 soldiers. And then you can
There's no way to double
then you
tokens
convoke and I don't think so, but there's still, there's lots of token producers.
Gosh,
and there's lots of cards that give you, like Huatli still exists, that Elephant still exists that puts +1/+1 counters on them.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, Seamus. We have the Integrity to Invention, Crawl Swarm, Enhanced Surveillance, Bounty of Might, Target creatures plus seriously, Target creatures. I hate this card. 6 mana to do 9.
It's just
I guess something gets +9/+9, or you can split it. But I don't know. It's 6 mana for a pump spell. Hired Poisoner as the foil. Yep.
We sell so many of those 1/1 Death Touchers. At least
1/1 Death Touchers. Yep. It is the Timmy of all Timmy cards.
Well, nobody will attack into you if you have a Death Touch. Their creature's going to die, so...
Yep. Whispering Snitch, a 1/3 whenever you surveil. The first time each turn, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Here's a First Strike Mentor for 2/2. A Circuitous Route. Search your library for 2 basic land cards and or gate cards. Put them on the battlefield tapped. It's just a upgrade to Explosive Vegetation. And then shuffle your library. Beast Whisperer, 4 mana. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Oh man, my Rodus Monument deck would have loved this card.
Isn't there 2 of those in Standard now?
Well,
there's a couple of stuff.
Though the Mentor of the Meek is sort of similar to it, but that's all I can think of right now. Maybe maybe one of those does exist. The 6 mana one, is that still? It came out of a welcome deck. Well, is it rotating?
There uncommon that if they're converted mana cost 4 or more? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, there usually is stuff like this. This one is for Seth. The Affectionate Indrik. City Watch Sphinx, a 6 mana for a 5/4 flying. When it dies, surveil 2. Hellkite Whelp. Hatchery Spider, not to be confused with Magic Historian. 7 mana for a 5/7 reach. When you cast this spell, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You may put a green permanent card with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Ooh. That is pretty sweet if you've got a lot of cards in your graveyard and a lot of options, of course. You can get a really good one back. Darren. We're almost done, folks. We're winding it down here. I'm the slowest box opener known to man. Everyone's told me that many times, and all I do is ramble, and I'm going to give you a downvote, and your channel sucks. All right, so Necrotic Wound, Sunhome Stalwart, Conclave Guild Mage. Dun, 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 dun,
there we go.
Dun, 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 dun. We did it. We opened up the Assassin's Trophy.
Something got a Planeswalker.
I told you. Though. Look, every pack has a Golgari rare and then a Golgari thing. Assassin's Trophy, it destroys a permanent. This is the most anticipated card. If you don't know what this does, go and listen to any of the pros podcasts or websites or anything. It's kind of a Path to Exile effect where they get a basic land, but you can destroy any permanent. Not non-land, any permanent. Bytron lands, go get your basics you don't run.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess Mono Greentron does run basics, but... Alright, Sai. Nightvale Sprite. Flower to Flourish. Status to Statue. This one I don't think we've seen so far. It gives something +1/+1 Death Touch for 1 mana, and Statue, a 4 mana to destroy target artifact, creature, or enchantment. I like this card a lot in Limited.
But he's dabbing.
He's dabbing? He's dabbing! What the hell? I didn't even notice that. I don't even look at the art a lot of times. Arclight Phoenix, 4 mana, Mythic for a 3/2 flying haste. At beginning of combat on your turn, if you cast 3 or more instants or sorcery spells, return the Arclight Phoenix back from your graveyard to the battlefield. I kind of like this in like a self-mill strategy where you cast a ton of cards, maybe even Narcomoeba in your deck, because then you can get like off the top of your library stuff.
Yeah.
And then you just need... The problem is like this is the Gitaxian Probe and Manamorphose type thing.
Yeah.
And Gitaxian Probe is banned. And we haven't had a spell quite like Gitaxian Probe that's just plain free. So, I don't know. It's pretty cool, though, for what it does, what this ability does. And the Boros Guildgate. Brenton. Okay, let's go to the Demotion. Can't attack or block unless it's activated or activated abilities. Circuitous Route, the Okran Assassin, Death Touch, all creatures able to block it must do so. So this is our back in the day we used to love to put Lure and Venom on cards. Back during Revised, that was one of the best abilities, and they finally put it all on one.
That is pretty cool.
And Pet Collector. There goes our theory. It's got an instant Guildgate with this, though.
Yeah, but it's not a multicolored card.
That's true. Pet Collector, another anticipated card, kind of like Experiment 1. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield that has greater power, put a +1 counter. If it dies, put a +1 counter. It doesn't work off toughness, though. Power.
Oh, is it just power?
So not quite, not quite how the Experiment 1 worked. But it does have the upside of when it dies, though. So if you cast like a 3/1, and then it now becomes a 2/2. That 3/1 trades. It's now a 3/3.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, there's those scenarios that will happen at your pre-release. There's a lot of 3/1s in black and green.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure there's some in Celestia too, but I noticed that in black and green, a lot of them. Let's go to the Beamsplitter Mage. Whenever you cast it, we've seen it. The Price of Fame. It costs 2 less to target legendary creatures, so it's 2 mana to kill a legendary creature or 4 mana to destroy a creature. Surveil 2. I actually think this is very standard playable. I think the Surveil pushes it over the top, and thinking we're coming off Dominaria.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish it would have said destroy a target creature or Planeswalker. But, because, I mean, it's really just competing with Vraska's Contempt. And then the Surveil, too. We have the Sprouting Renewal. We've seen it. And the Narcomoeba. They upshifted this stupid card.
I don't know.
From uncommon to rare. And then we have Dimir Guildgate.
All right.
But I like Narcomoeba. There might be enough support for it. Tormenting Voice is still around. We'll probably try that Phoenix deck. Hunted Witness. We don't care about those. Another Price of Fame, Gird for Battle, Silent Dart. What a dog. When I saw this one spoiled, I'm like, this should not be a hand. It should be another orifice. Should be another humanly body part.
Fleet Swallower, so they're coming up with all kinds of names.
Fleet Swallower. Yeah, that's true. And we have Expansion into Explosion. Or Explosion, not Explosion. Expansion, copy target against your search spell with convert mana cost 4 or less. Choose new targets. Explosion deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards.
Ooh.
And Dimir Guildgate. There goes our theory.
Yeah.
Carl! Is that how Carl spells his name? I thought it was with a C.
There's 2 different Carls.
Oh, there's 2 different Carls. Okay.
There's times 2 Carl.
Oh, there is.
I copied everyone.
You're right. We're not blaming Zach now. The Necrolisk, Affection Indrix, Silent Dart again, and the Venerated Loxodon. Pretty good card. And the Boros Guildgate. I like the Venerated Loxodon. Great card. I think it's underrated. Earl of Squirrels. All right, so we have the Whispering Snitch. Status to Statue. Selective Snare, X and blue to return target creature. To return X target creature to their creature type of your choice to their owner's hand. See, this is kind of cool because you can target yourself. So if you do have a tribal that you can get value off of it, possibly. Like I think of it in artifact stuff, and then you reduce them, and then you can recast them all. Otherwise, it just hurts tribal, which I don't know if that's gonna be that bad. Connive to Concoct. 4 mana to gain control of target creature with power 2 or less. Concoct is 5 mana Surveil 3, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is one I think the options aren't as great as in limited, but on curve, take something small. Later on when you have big stuff, Concoct. But I really like this portion.
Yeah,
So,
that is.
I like a reanimation spell. There are definitely some worthwhile cards, like even Gishoth to reanimate at this point. That even though it doesn't work off the edge of the battlefield effect, there even is some good entry about Meteor.
Yeah,
Golem.
that's true.
Meteor Golem works with it. Nathan, we have the Molder Hulk, the Selective Snare, Legion Guild Mage, and Bounty of Might. Wompy Womp.
All right, the last one.
All right, Will, here we go.
We're at an hour.
Here's the foil.
I won't let him open up cards again.
To push me through this. We have the Might of Masses, the Grappling Sundew, Dimir Spybug, Dawn of Hope, and it was a foil last, but just a burglar rat, just a filthy rat as the foil.
Sweet.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We do this monthly, so if you're interested in joining our Patreon, anything that's $4 above on the $4 above tier, we'll have a pack cracked in your honor as an appreciation. We'll send you the uncommons, foils, and rares. If you don't want your cards, definitely let me know beforehand so we can save money on shipping and all the labor that goes involved in it. We'll ship these out after the release date, so that is in a couple weeks. Otherwise, we're not supposed to, ship cards out before then. So just wait until then. We'll have them all out to you, and we'll probably be doing Guilds of Ravnica for next month's Patreon as well. We'll see. Maybe we can finagle some kits or something to spice it up. But for now, that's the plan. Hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin and somewhat Zach was here. I
was here.
He just wasn't opening up. We set up the camera and there just couldn't really get both of us in it this time. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.